Hello everyone, this is Caleb Simpson from ZeldaDungeon.net, and you are watching our video walkthrough for The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks for Nintendo DS. This is the 11th chapter of the walkthrough, and we have just completed the Sand Temple / Desert Temple and acquired the Bow of Light. At the end of the last video, it was revealed that we need to return to the Tower of Spirits one final time to get the Compass of Light in order to find and defeat Malladus once and for all. So if you want to jump right to it, you can skip to the 6th video of this chapter to see where I go to the tower. Otherwise, you can hang out with me for these first 5 videos, where I will be running around doing, well, just about all of the collection stuff remaining in the entire game. So if you'd like some heart containers, force gems, rabbits, stamps, swordman scrolls, and all that stuff, then you should follow along with me. First of all, now that we've completed the Sand Temple, if you return to the Sand Sanctuary / Dune Sanctuary, then Rail will have a request for you to bring him some Cuccos. The Locomo wants to study how Cuccos will attack people, and that sounds like a recipe to get yourself killed. Or maybe getting other people killed, perhaps. He's trying to harness that power by creating a Cucco Cannon, the first and most deadly of biological weapons introduced to Zelda ever. The carnage that will ensue will be spoken of for generations. You do realize that's how this whole thing starts, right? Get a random guy with wheels for legs and too much time on his hands, next thing you know, the gods are flooding Hyrule. I'm telling you, that's the only way this thing can go down. And although against our better judgment, to help this guy out, you can travel to Castletown and buy him some Cuccos. Along the way, though, I'm going to pick up a letter I received in the mail from Beetle.
Thank you for shopping at Beetle's Airshop. You now have 200 points. Here's a silver card that gives you a 10% discount on all items. Save up those points, and we hope to see you at the shop again soon. Sincerely, Beetle.
So on the way back to the Ocean Realm, I'm going to stop by Beetle's Airshop and buy more treasure. My goal is to get to 500 points on my card, which will earn me that heart container he has in the background, and it's not that much further. I really am pretty close to my points, so I will be acquiring that later on in this chapter. So, this Force Gem creates new tracks in the far top right corner of the Fire Realm that leads to a rabbit and the ends of the Earth Station. We'll be heading there momentarily. Rail mentions that he'd be most appreciative if you brought him more Cuccos, and you can do so repeatedly to earn treasure from here on out. Before you leave, go grab a Cucco and use it to reach the small islands in the bottom right corner of the map, where you'll find a stamp station. If you've been following along thus far, this should be your 19th one total. Alright, so make your way over to the newly created tracks, and along the way you can grab the Fire Rabbit at the corner here, and if you've been following along, this should be your 10th and final one for this area. Afterwards, continue on down the path to reach the ends of the Earth Station. In this first area, there are some jars and sand that you can interact with, but it's all just for rupees. When you're done playing around, you can enter each of the caves to solve puzzles and earn prizes. You can do them in any order, but it's probably best to start out with the easiest one and work your way up. So the cave in the center is the first one. You should go in there first, and then circle around, completing the other caves after that. So one trick of mine to solve these puzzles is to get the block pointing down into the sand in one of the compass directions of your destination, so north, south, east, or west of the switch. And once you get it lined up, toss it on its side, then roll it, and this way you can move it around where you want and push it back into place so that it snaps right into the switch. So again, just like the last one, get it lined up, then toss it on its side. This puzzle is actually positioned really easy for this to work. Just keep rolling it south, and then you can snap it into place. This final puzzle gives us very limited space to work with. I believe I did too many steps here, but the trick is to make figure eights, sorta, so that the block is pointing up in one of the four corners. Once you get it there, you can roll it all the way to the opposite side to get it pointing down, toss it on its side, then roll it until it's lined up. Alright, so that's how you solve all the easy puzzles, and your reward is a rare treasure as well as a big green rupee in the next room. So once you've gotten those, you want to go back outside and enter the next cave. So I don't have much advice for this one. We have more than enough room to solve it. The only thing that's challenging about this one really is just that we have another block that could potentially get in the way, but it's really not that big a deal. You can just kind of shove it out of the way and then push it back again, so it's not a problem. This one is a little more confined, but it's not that bad. My suggestion is just to get the one out of the way initially, and then focus on getting the other one lined up. Preferably get it already in the corner, so that all you have to do is just plop it into place later, and then that way it's out of the way. With that taken care of, let's focus on the other one. First, I'm going to make it go in a circle so that it's pointing up, and now I can push it to the far left, which will snap it into place. Don't worry about the other one, because we can just roll it over. So this one is a bit trickier. First, let's go get the middle one out of the way. The other two are taking up space, but they're actually very symmetrical, so the goal is to get them back to their starting position, but pointing north, so that when you roll them to the far edges, you can just plop them into place. Do the same thing with the other one, and then those two are both completed. Now with those out of the way, we have more than enough room to deal with the remaining block. The reward for the second set of puzzles is actually a heart container, awesome, and another 100 rupees. It's now time for the three final, most difficult puzzles. This one is a lot easier than it looks. The blocks are actually positioned very conveniently, and you can just leave the room and come back to reset it. You want to pick either the two left or two right blocks, and then push them onto their side, and then roll them south so you can snap them into place. The last one's a bit trickier, but don't worry, you can do it the exact same way. Push it on its side, and now we're kind of stuck, but it's simple enough. Temporarily push the other blocks north, then roll the remaining blocks south, and and this lines it up with the middle one. But what do we do with the other block, you ask? Well, it's already on its side, so you can just roll it off to the far side instead and snap it into place. Easy, right? This puzzle looks tough because we have very limited space, but it's actually pretty easy if you know this simple trick. I'm going to move one block off to the side, then rotate the other one in circles repeatedly. Once you get it lined up, you can just move the other block out of the way and snap the first one back into place. With that second block, you can just move it over and rotate it just like you did the other one. This will eventually line it up as well, and all you have to do is roll the other block over one, and then roll the first one onto its side and line it up with the other slot. See, that wasn't so bad, now was it? Alright, so this final puzzle is pretty challenging. We really don't have any room now. Now my trick for completing this is to get all of them pointing down first. To do this, move 2 of them south, then you can roll the last one to the far side. Push the middle one back north, then roll the other one to the far side and then back north. Now they're all lined up again, but one of them is pointing down. You can repeat the same process, moving them around and spinning them around the arena until all of them are pointing down. So here's the tricky part. Now that they're all pointing down in the northern row, I'm going to toss one of the side ones to the middle, and then move it south. This allows you to snap it into one of the corners. So here's the trick of doing that. And so start doing this in the opposite corner, but the other blocks quickly get in the way. So push them out of the way temporarily, so that you can wand the block into the corner. Now at this point, you'll notice that both corners are done, but we still have the one remaining block and it's in the way. However, because we knocked it into the middle, it's now on its side. So roll it south, snap it into the corner just like before, and the block we had to move out of the way is now on its side. So we can just roll it down, roll it over, and it's already lined up with the slot. Awesome. So this puzzle is pretty complicated, but once you kind of get the idea for it, then it's actually not that bad. The biggest trick with this, of doing it right, is to just make them all pointing down into the sand initially. That's the big secret to getting this to work. Awesome, so this prize is a Regal Ring, one of 2 found in chests in the entire game. I will be getting the other one later on in this chapter, and we are also rewarded with another 100 rupees in the following room. That concludes everything for the station. When you're done playing around, return to your train and join me for the next video for more collection yumminess.